let's talk about these terminologies that other people don't seem to understand. They're on YouTube. They're trying to say certain things, and they sound stupid as hell. You sound ignorant as hell. And a lot of people don't understand the slang that comes from New York. Now, I'm going to break down two different slang terms that come from New York that people don't seem to understand. The number one thing I want to talk about is this thing called dick sucking. Dick sucking is basically saying that somebody is saying something about you, whether it be negative or positive. I heard DMX say the same term. He was not gay. Okay? Dick sucking. That means, like, let's say I get up here and I start talking bad about Tommy Sotomayor. Let's say I just get up there and just start talking bad about him. That's dick sucking. Let's say I come up here and say something positive about Tommy Sotomayor. That's called dick sucking. That's what it's called. I just use him as an example. Okay, the next example I'm going to give you, and some people don't seem to understand this term, is called what is it called? Dick matching, matching dicks. You know what I'm talking about. And what it basically means is that I'm trying to compare my life experiences, whether it be positive or negative, to the other man, whatever he might be saying, or what the female might be saying. It's just dick measuring. That's what it's called. Dick measuring means I'm trying to compare my life experience situations to another person's life and experience situations. Might have two different people up there. They get into a conversation. Somebody say, well, I had like 5 different fights last week and I won 3 of the battles. You might have the other person say, well, I didn't have that problem. I went out there and had a gun and started blasting the whole place. That is dick measuring. You're trying to compare yourself to another person. But it's in verbal context. You're talking about an experience you had. And people do it all the time when you go to prison. When you go to prison, you meet all kinds of people. And you might have had a certain life experience. You might say, well, I got beat a lot when I was a kid. And the person you're talking to might say, well, my mother was a good mother and we went to church. Okay, that's dick measuring. That's all it means. I'm not trying to get on nobody's case about what they are saying on YouTube, but you got to be smarter than what you're doing. Stop saying that these dudes are gay or down low just because they use certain terminology or certain words. See, when you come from the street, your terminology is going to be totally different. Totally different. Like when my mother was growing up, she grew up in the streets of Charleston, South Carolina. There was no parental authority over them, not like that. She had to be raised by other people in her family, and eventually she got on her own. Went to New York, did what she had to do. Alright? My experience is going to be totally different. We two different women. She had 5 children, I have none. She been married twice, I've never been married. I've been to prison, she has never been to prison. So I'm dick measuring my life experience to a close relative of mine. That is what is called dick measuring. If she gets up here, and anybody gets up here and says anything negative or positive about you, it's called dick sucking. That's what it's called. Period. And that's 914 for today. Since certain people on YouTube want to say certain shit, and you don't know what you're talking about, talk about what you want to talk about. It is what it is. Just like dudes that act like women, they're all emotional, they're violent, and they're emotional. A lot of dudes. They dress in a masculine way. They work masculine jobs. They're doing construction. They're doing janitorial jobs. They're driving trucks. You can't even say those things are masculine. You gotta say, well, it's equal because men and women do it. But what I'm trying to say is, our terminology is totally different from everybody else's terminology. If you was to go to Massachusetts, it'd be different. If you was to go to New Jersey, it'd be totally different. If you was to go to Mississippi, it'd be totally different. So New York terminology is different. It's different for different people. That's what I'm trying to say. The street slang don't stay the same. Especially if you've been raised in the streets and you did a certain amount of time in fucking prison. You'll meet different people from different places, and not everybody speaks English. So that's a whole different world. Hello. That's a whole different world. It is what it is. I'm not trying to be arrogant. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. But I am going to say what I need to say on my channel, on my platform. And if certain people don't understand what I'm saying, too bad. Start using critical thinking. Start thinking about stuff before you say it. That's all. Common courtesy. Basically. And Hassan and Five Guy, you need to stop that foolishness and pick up the goddamn phone and call each other. FaceTime each other. And get this beef done. Because this shit is ridiculous. Hassan, you don't live in Bronx River projects no more. You don't live there no more. You are from the Sound View area. Yes, right there in Bronx. Bronx, New York. Five God, you from the Bronx. Both of you dudes used to talk about y'all was repping for the Bloods. The stuff you guys are doing on YouTube, that is a violation. You know it and I know it. Don't get up here and start talking shit about your brother. Don't do that. If I'm in a relationship, if I'm having problems with my partner, I don't get on YouTube and start ragging the person. Whatever I have to say to them, I say to them. If it's bothering me about what they're doing, you know what I do? I pick up my goddamn phone and call them. And vice versa. That's what a real friend does. You want to talk about real friendships? That's what a real friend does.